I wanted to create this video talking about what is it that I am working towards personally and professionally. Personally, there are a lot of many reasons. So first and foremost is one of the main one something that I am after personally is creating a healthier and better lifestyle for not just myself but for those around me. For example, is life is as we continue to get older, so do the people that mean the most to us, right? So do the people around us. They too are getting older. So with that in mind is again, although yes, I am getting older, although yes, my mother is getting older, although yes, my aunts are getting older, my siblings, where everybody around us is getting older. My grandmother is getting older. And because a lot of us are getting older and it's just the way of life, things do arise. For example, like right now, my mother is my current caregiver, so because my mother takes care of me, is I have to look through the lens of like, okay, this is just like now, what's next? By what's next, I'm talking about what about the next 5 years? What about the next decade? Because again, although I am getting older, she too is getting older. So I have to take that into account. So something I am working towards personally is I want to set myself in a position where I am able to flip the script. By flipping the script, I am talking about instead of my mom taking so much care of me, I am able to flip the script where I am able to take care of her. I am working towards putting myself in the position where I am able to have, where I am able to set myself up financially, giving myself some financial security and financial security where I am able to take care of my own needs. By my needs, I'm talking about my caregiving services. Who is going to look after me? Who is going to take care of me? Because my disability is progressive. So by my disability being progressive, I have to take into account, like my disability is one thing that I really have to think about. And by thinking about, I have to really think about like not just so much now with where I am, but I have to think about where I will be. And I have to set myself in a financial position where I am able to, when my mother gets older, I am able to retire her, and take care of her. Whatever she needs, I can make it happen. I want to set myself in a position where I am able to look after myself and take care of myself. I will always be dependent to some extent, but there are things I can do to make myself independent to some extent. And I want to set myself in a position where I am able to hire the caregivers I need, hire the the medical team to take care of my needs. I'm talking about like getting in and out of bed. I'm talking about like your daily necessities, in and out of bed, staying clean, eating, traveling, because eventually where I aspire to go, there is going to be a lot of traveling to be involved. There are going to be a lot of things involved. So I have to put myself in a financial position to one, create that opportunity, right? But two, be able to attain such opportunity, attain such position, And back to what I was saying is my mother's getting older, my aunts are getting older, my grandmother's getting older. Everybody around me is getting older. It's just the way of life. Myself too is getting older. So I want to put myself in a position where if things arise because they are getting older, like what if something happens, a certain illness or diagnosis happens to occur? What if there is a treatment that can help treat or cure such illness or diagnosis, but their insurance doesn't cover it? Well, that's a really big problem. That's a really big issue, right? That's a lot more stress that I want to be able to liberate, because when you hear you have a illness or a diagnosis, and you're one, worrying about the outcome, right? To also be worrying about how you are going to take care of it financially, that's another stress level. I want to be able to prevent that. I want to be able to relieve as much stress when it comes financially as possible. So what I am working towards is setting myself and my mother, primarily my mother, myself, my mother, my family, in a comfortable position where we don't have to worry about anything financially. You know, getting to that level is not easy. It's actually very difficult, and especially because of my disability. Because of my disability and my benefits, I have to become very mindful, and I have to be very well calculated with what risk I decide to take. For example, if I exceed 40,000 a year, I'm rounding the numbers here, but if I exceed $40,000 a year, I lose six figures in healthcare benefits. So I have to take that into account. So that is something I am working towards personally. I have to take into account. Like, again, back to what I was saying is, I am getting older. I can't expect my siblings to look after and take care of me. I'm sure they would. I'm sure my family would. They would step up if the case had to be, if it had to be. But I don't want to put them in that position, or that predicament. I want to, if needed, I want to be able to be in a position where I have my own team. I'm going to say team. I have my own team where I am taken care of. I don't have to put my needs. I don't want to put. How can I word this? I do not want because I am getting older, right? And for example, my mother's my current caregiver. Is if someone had to take care of me, I don't want somebody to pick up my needs because they too are dealing with their own needs, and two, if someone is going to care for me, I want to be in the position where I can offer more for what they will be for what they will be doing and for what is needed. I want to have that sense of control. I want to basically cut out that middleman, for me personally. And again, things arise. Like, what if later down the line there happens to be a cure for my disability? But what if my insurance doesn't cover the cost? Or what if insurance is a really big hindrance, from me getting that treatment or that potential cure? I want to be able to be in the position where I don't have to worry about that. I can just, what do I have to do? Okay, let's do it. How much is it? Okay, let's do it. I want to put myself in that position. Same thing with my mother. Same thing with my aunts, my tias. Like, they are all getting older. Who's going to take care of them when the time comes? Because again, they too are getting older, right? So who's going to take care of them? For me personally, I can't see. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but for me personally, I can't see them going into a home. I want to be in a position where I am able to offer everything that they may need. Tyler Perry said it best. He says, or not said it best, but Tyler Perry said his mom had thanked him. I was in Tyler Perry's documentary. He said his mom was going through a lot medically, and he said his mom told him thank you, and she said thank you because if it wasn't for what you did and are doing, she wouldn't have been able to afford the treatments that she needed, and he said it really touched. Well, you have to think about things like that. You have to think about when you're striving for something big, you have to think big, right? So when you have to think in terms of, like, not just a year, not just 5 years, not so much just a decade, but the decades to come. You have to think in terms like that when you're really thinking on a grand scale. So personally, I want to put myself in a position where I know my needs are taken care of, because I know I am one of my mom's biggest worries, especially because I'm getting older. So if I can relieve that stress, I guess, I want to do so. Like, I still have mobility. If I can take advantage of it, I will do so. There is a purpose within my story. There is a purpose within everything that I go through. What that is, I don't know entirely 100%, but I do know a portion of it. And that is to utilize these God-given gifts so they don't go to waste. Me waking up, me still having mobility, me having the opportunities that I have around me. How can I seize those opportunities? How can I do something with my mobility? Excuse me. How can I do something with my mobility that I still have today? Excuse me. I woke up a little bit under the excuse me. I woke up a little bit under the weather earlier today. Nothing serious or concerning. So that's personally. I have to put myself in a position to make sure myself, my mother, my tias are taken care of. Of course, my family as well, but they are my priorities. My grandmother as well. My grandmother will get the premium package, I guess you could say. She too will be very well taken care of. So I have to. So that's personally. So now, what about professionally? So professionally, things I am working towards, or what I am aiming towards, is I'm working on a lot of different things. Like I said earlier within this video, is I am working on things to put myself in a position where I can take care of not only myself and my needs, but take care of the needs of others. And so professionally, what is it that I am working towards? So working towards is, right now I have several brands currently. For example, I have this YouTube channel. I have my own website. I have my other YouTube channels. So I have this YouTube channel, which is connected to my website, Victortheinspiration.com. And I also have my second YouTube channel, which is Vicspiration Shared Philosophy. I have my third YouTube channel, which is The Victor Motivation. I have my fourth YouTube channel, which is The Victor Visionary. And I have other stuff going on behind the scenes as well that I will not quite reveal. But the reason why I am working on all these projects is because, again, I want to set myself in a position. If you put it in perspective, I have four current brands, okay, and they may not be well off the ground yet, but if you are able to work towards something, and there is a proof of concept that it does work, continue to find what needs improving. Continue to find ways on how you too can improve, with what it is you're working towards. And eventually you just may see the fruits to your labor. So professionally, I'm currently working on all of these brands, and I aspire other brands as well, but of course I am going to need a little bit more resources to make things happen, and I will need more resources currently, to really make what it is I'm working towards happen, on a big scale. Something I aspire is YouTube something is YouTube like my primary thing that I am working towards? It is not. YouTube is going to be like the start of my foundation. I am hoping that YouTube, with the use of social media, I am able to get my name out there more. I am able to get my name out there more, build a bigger audience, where it then leads me to speaking on some of the biggest stages in the world, if not the biggest stage in the world. I would love to do public speaking. So I know that's going to help fill my needs for the future. I know it's going to help cover the needs for my mother and my loved ones around me, you know, because I will have my brands running off the ground. I will have public speaking off the ground. I do aspire to become an author. I have attempted to write a book. Fun fact is I actually attempted to write my first book, and I was going to finish it, but I had stopped, and the reason why I stopped is because I was still in the middle of what I think could be like that wow ending. Like that was a great ending. And that story you can actually that story that I had attempted right before I stopped is something you actually will be able to personally read on my website, victortheinspiration.com, and it is titled Victor's Story within my homepage. You will not miss it. Excuse me. Professionally is, so again, I do so YouTube I do play around with. I do aspire to continue to create things on there. Public speaking, I do aspire to do public speaking. One of my big goals, and I hope I can do. Oh, another thing again. So it's like YouTube, public speaking, author. I would love to be a New York Times bestseller. That's like a dream of mine. What else? I would love to get into acting. That seems fun. But in this video, I would only talk. I don't want to drift away from my topic. But our primary things that I really aspire and I really do see myself doing, you know, if it's part of God's plan for my life, is of course YouTube, public speaking, become an author, New York Times best-selling author. And I do aspire once, of course, real estate. Everybody gets into real estate. Real estate seems fun, interesting, captures my interest. Is something I really love, excuse me, as I'm just brainstorming out with what is at the top of my head, is I do aspire to become an engineer. By engineering, I'm talking about like my big thing that I see myself, like my big company. You know how like Elon Musk has like several projects going on, you know, like Tesla, I think it's PayPal, the Boring Company, which is like that underground for like LA, I think. You know how Elon Musk has like several projects he's working on, but Tesla is his like primary, right? I think Tesla's his primary. Anyhow, this company that I am about to mention is going to be like that, you know, like although I do all of these other things, is my primary thing that I see myself like going into the office and actually doing this is to become an engineer. I always have aspired ever since I was even a little kid is to innovate products. I'm talking about I want to innovate and I want to brainstorm, innovate, and create products for both the disabled community and the non-disabled community. There are so many things that I have personally gone around, even looked up, that I could benefit from, and they don't have it. So I would love to create products like that. And of course, I know if it is going to benefit me, especially with my disability, I know it definitely will help others as well. The non-disabled community as well. There are things, you know, I go around and I'm like, wow, they should have this. Look it up and they don't. And I'm like, that's a really good invention. That's a really good idea. You know, I do aspire to become an engineer. That is something, like, you know how everybody has like their niche, you know, like everybody, when you make it big time, is everybody may have like several projects going on, several things they may be doing, but they always have like that one thing that's like their primary thing. You know, for Grant Cardone, for example, I'm assuming it would be his real estate, right? Elon Musk, I'm assuming, would be Tesla. Who else? Steve Harvey, I'm assuming would be like his TV show, you know. So things like that. So like for me, of course, I would have all of these several things going on, and of course, I would have to build a bigger team. I can't just be a one man team, right? You know, I have to build a team. I'm already building one now, but that's not the point. Is I have to put my so back to what I was saying earlier. Is my disability is progressive. Will I be able to do all of these things? I don't know. I don't know what tomorrow holds. You know, my disability can take an unexpected quick turn for the worse. You know, tomorrow, for all I know, I might not be able to feed myself. For all I know, I might this video right here may be the last time I actually am able to click record. I don't know what my disability holds. You know, so back to what I was saying with my disability is because it is progressive. You know, will I be able to accomplish all of these things I mentioned within the video and be able to get off the ground? I don't know, but I will tell you this: I will try, and that's all it takes. All I have to do is try, right? There's no failing in trying. There is only failing in quitting. If you start something, finish it. Of course, be mindful with what it is you attempt to do, attempt to try. And if you are willing to self-reflect off of what you are doing, even if it is the right thing, self-reflect. Find, how can I improve? How can I improve myself? How can I improve my team? How can I improve what it is I'm working towards? How can I improve? That's all you have to do, is simply just self-reflect, find ways to improve what needs to work on, whether it's yourself, those around you, if you have a team, your work, your project, whatever it is you're working on. You know, how can you improve these things? You know, and that's all it takes. And every day make decisions that will move you forward, whether it be big or small. That's all it takes, you know. And if there is, of course, a proof of concept that what it is you are working towards, you know, if there is a proof of concept, you know, well then you know you are not delusional. You know it is possible. You know, all you have to do is find how to turn your current reality, you know, which is nothing to say, and how can you turn it into something, you know, which is how can you get the fruits to your labor, you know. And of course there's the other side that I won't go into that topic, but of course there is the other side where if there is no proof of concept, you know, well then congratulations on creating a path where there once wasn't one. You are extraordinary if you attempt to do so. Anyhow, I wanted to make this video. I apologize within this video if my voice is not like the greatest. Again, I woke up feeling slightly under the weather, nothing too big or concerning. Nothing concerning. So I'm not worried about it. But again, I apologize in advance again that for my voice may not be like the best or the greatest. This is something I personally have been wanting to talk about for quite some time now, and I happened to have the opportunity and I thought to click record. I also want to mention too is that although I do continue to create content, and with everything I am working on, you know, I am always finding ways to improve. I am human just like you are. I am not perfect. I am always trying to, I will make mistakes along the way, you know. So again, all you have to do is self-reflect and find ways on how you can improve oneself, right? Anyhow, I love you. I appreciate you. And I haven't done this in a very long while. If you have been following me for quite some time, is I will end it with a quote. Become mindful with your words because although God listens, so does your enemy. Let me know what that means down. Let me know what that means to you down in the comments below. Check out my website. I have my story. I have ebooks. There's so much information on my website. I have been documenting my life journey for several years now, and literally documenting the entire process on what I've been doing, what I have been through, how I overcame it, what I learned, and how you too can break through your mental barriers. You can access my website through victortheinspiration.com or simply Google me, victortheinspiration.com, all one, no spacing, and I will be the first thing that pops up. You can also check down below the links within the description. My information is there as well. I love you. I appreciate you. And remember, grow through what you go through. Much love.